Yes.
Okay, so would you like to say it now?
Yes, why not?
Okay. Okay. You repeat after me.
Okay.
Okay. أشهد
يشهد
أن لا
لا
إله
إله
إلا
إلا
الله
الله
وأشهد
أشهد
أن
إن
محمدا
محمدا
رسول
رسول
الله.
الله.
A lot of friends, and I remember thinking to myself, gosh, how am I going to explain this, right, that I'm going to start a new journey, a new chapter in life. And what I began to realise was that they were very accepting of what decisions I made.
I think it's because you look different, because obviously you're wearing hijab and people notice that, so you get so much stick for it. From my family, my dad, I had spoken to him for the last 8 years, because he doesn't agree with it. My family just don't understand. Like, I'm not eating pork, and I'm eating halal meat, and I'm not drinking, and I'm not going out to pubs and stuff with him. My kids fetching them up totally different. My family didn't understand.
Very, very hard. I used to live on Woodthorpe, and it was very, very hard. I used to get laughed at. I remember the first day I actually came out of my house with it on, and they was all laughing because it was summertime, and everybody was out on the road, and they were just proper, like, you could see them all, they were laughing and saying little things. I found that quite hard,
in terms of my living. But he was actually trying to explain to them that Islam wasn't a terrorist type activity, because on the media at the time, and it still is the same case now, anybody that's following this peaceful religion can be deemed as a terrorist or have got an aggressive nature to them. So it was like trying to talk to them in a way where they understood that actually, no, this is just a fine-tuning to your character as well.
Some of the difficulties I found at first is when I used to go to certain mosques, I can't hear no English.
Yes, yes.
So I'm not gaining no knowledge. Like on a Friday prayer, the cook was supposed to serve as a reminder from one week to the next.
Yeah.
But I'm not getting nothing but Urdu, Somali, Arab, just there's no English.
So when you get, the actual search for the truth is a beautiful thing, because your sincerity is there. Your sincerity to find the truth is there. And once you find it, you think, yes, you're enthusiastic, you want to go for it. But then what happens is that you really find out you're on your own. And this is all about you. This is about you and how you need to make that journey. But guess what? That journey can be made easier with support from people that have actually been there themselves as well.
I meant to wear hijab because, if anything, it's meant to protect us, but I felt like it was endangering me in a way, I used to think that it was more dangerous for me to wear it, because I thought someone might decide, to attack me for it or anything, I used to think them thoughts.
And then even some of them will get confused as well, because they've got different people telling them different things and where to go, and don't go to this and don't go to that.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand.
So then they can run away from Islam as well, because they think this is too much, it's too confusing.
Yeah.
I never signed up for this.
Obvious that people who convert to Islam will need that support because they've been disowned by their families, or don't have the support, or they don't have the culture of Islam, which is important.
Yeah.
But I think we don't understand how much people who are born into Islam, into families who don't have the deen but have the culture, they have the adab, which is the manners of deen, but they don't have the fard, which is the basis of deen, and they don't have the spirituality. And I think the children have such an identity crisis. They want
when people come to Islam, obviously there's a lot of changes that happen in their life. It's a complete way of life, and sometimes because of that people may feel that they're isolated from family and friends, because people may have negative reactions towards them because of misunderstandings. But also they may find it difficult sometimes to be fully embraced into the indigenous cultures because of cultural differences and, again, misunderstanding.
The issue for me around my children, especially my oldest child who's 10, I feel like there is nothing out there in Sheffield at the moment for children between the age of 9 and 13, because they're either that little too old to be going, especially on a single mother point of view, to be going to groups where there's all women, because obviously if it's a boy they can't really necessarily go, and if they're under the age of like 13 they can't go to the groups because they're not old enough to actually socialise in that environment.
You've got somewhere to go, you've got something to plan towards. You also know that when you go you'll be finding people that have got similar experience to yourself, all understand where you're at, have got families the same as well, some that are Muslim, some that are not. You're not going to go to a venue or be in a gathering where you think, you know what, I'm the only person in this gathering. You'll be in a gathering where you know the majority of people there know exactly how you feel and are all there for the original intention of the gathering, which is to make everybody feel included. So what the Sheffield Heritage Foundation are planning to do is great, alhamdulillah, because there's nothing more beautiful, right, than making somebody feel welcome who has already felt isolated, whether you're Muslim or non-Muslim. And I know the Sheffield Heritage Foundation are trying to do that.
I do worry about my son, because he's at that age whether he's going to, you know, fulfil the Islam and carry it on in his later life, or whether he's going to look at it and think, you know, all that did was, you know, ruin my life, and it was really hard work and difficult for him as well. And I don't want him to think like that. I want him to be able to meet other Muslim boys and, you know that he's not the only one out there.
It came over as sort of some lovely people who'd got a belief, but were very sort of moderate and very keen that other people should see that the Muslim religion is nothing to fear, and this is how the religion celebrates. So it was very, very low-key, very friendly, very hospitable, and that was really positive. That was my kids still talk about it now. They had a good day.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Good.
Well, when it came to Eid, alhamdulillah, you know, I'd already known people who were Muslims before I became a Muslim as well, and they all invited me to their houses. The one thing I would say is that as happy as I was for the invitation, I was also kind of sad as well, because I felt like I was tagging on to somebody else's event. That, you know, I'm looking at a time when everybody was enjoying themselves, and I understood what it was about, but coming from how I did celebrations to where I was at, I did feel isolated, and I did think to myself, do you know what, alhamdulillah, I had somebody, like I said, my husband, to go through that journey with me.
At first when Eid used to come around, I had no one to celebrate it with. I wasn't, you know, in touch with my in-laws then. It wasn't like I could go there for Eid, so I had really nowhere to go. But then obviously when these events are on, that I know that Sheffield Heritage Foundation have done a few before, and I've been to them, and that was nice for somewhere to go and obviously socialise again and mix with others.
I mean, for me, to tell the truth,
yeah,
if you're trying to bring a centre together,
yeah,
to help the people in this community,
yeah,
we don't say we want a centre just for converts,
yeah,
or for reverts,
yeah,
we want a centre for everybody,
yes,
for Pakistanis, for the Arabs, for the Somalis, for everybody. We need a centre where we can sit down,
yeah,
and we can look at differences. We don't want a centre to say you are Sufi, you are Tablighi,
yes,
you know, you are Salafi.
Yeah,
we need a centre where we can come down,
yeah,
come together,
yeah,
and sit down and discuss the problems in our communities.
Yes,
so we can help the people in our communities.
My child's coming up to be a teenager, and I find it hard, and I think she needs to be in these events, she needs to be around these people. Because at the end of the day, these are the people that are going to, you know, in years to come are going to help their children. If we're not making them to be good Muslims and know about the deen now, then what are our children? And, you know, in years on, going to be like, we need that help to get everyone together. Because everyone's slipping, and it's because we've got no time. We need to get help.
It's your intentions, Allah. That's what does it, inshallah. And may Allah guide you and keep you strong, because this is because I'll be honest with you, recently we've been talking about role models. You know, to me, you're a very positive role model to the Asian and Muslim community, and you deserve a lot of credit, because this is the way forward. You know, because you're not just you're just talking, you're just practically actually doing something to bring people together. It's really positive.